Hello everyone, Noto Edition speaking here, and in today's video we're going to discuss how I lost my apartment because of my gambling addiction, man. So to begin, this was a really happy time for me. This was a really happy time, not for what happened, but this is a really happy time for me when I first got my first place. This was actually my first apartment. This was my first time ever being out on my own. I was doing good with the money. I had my job going. Like, I even got to the point where I was taking my hiatus away from gambling addiction and everything. So from gambling, I had my hiatus going from gambling because I felt like I was doing bad. But I was like, if I could just muster up enough money to be able to save for my deposit and be able to move out and all that stuff, I actually mustered up enough money to be able to do that. So I felt good about that. I felt awesome about that. I got the money. I had to pay like twice the deposit because the place was like, I believe it was like $1,300 or something like that for like a 2-bedroom. So I went and got that. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. It was pretty decent. So I was really happy about that. I was really proud of myself because you know me, if you've seen my last videos, you would know that I was nowhere near good at saving money. Nowhere near good at saving money at all. You can watch my videos. I lost whole paychecks and all that. So the fact that I was able to save up the deposit money, all that, to be able to pay the light bill, turn the lights on, everything at my own spot, even start putting a little bit of stuff in there and all that at the beginning. It was just crazy. It was just amazing for me. It was an amazing experience for me. So I'm gonna tell you right now, when things started like kind of going downhill, it was one time with my friend, but one of my family members, I guess, like I would say not my family members, but it was a friend and a family member was like, okay, you maybe come and play a game with us. Come and play a game. You good, all right? Just control it. Just have your little money set aside and everything. But right then and there, I didn't even think nothing was wrong with it because I had everything going together. I felt like I was high and mighty. I had my first place. I had some money saved up and everything because I was on top of everything. I had the bills to pay. I had all the money allocated to the bills and everything. So I didn't feel like anything was wrong or nothing like that. So what I did was I went and played a little bit. I was like, okay, it was cool. I lost a little bit. I won a little bit. It wasn't really that much, but it wasn't nothing devastating. So I was like, okay, everything all right. So I went back. I think I probably broke even that first time after that. And I was like, okay, it was cool. So after that, we went there. I played a little higher. I played a little more money. I was like, okay, I want to try to win some. I got a little bit of extra money. I got some savings good. I got some savings in the bank, so I didn't think that was wrong. So I wanted to play, ended up losing that. So I ended up dipping into my money, and I was like, dang, I don't want to go too far. So I started catching myself, right? I'm finna leave right here. I'm like $200 down. I'm just gonna leave. I think I had like $800 more left in my savings or whatever, so to go allocate to my next bill so I can pay my next rent next month and stuff like that. So everything was good. But okay, after that next month, I noticed that I came up short. I came up short when it came to pay the rent, but what it had was a chance for me to pay it later, but they had to make me pay a late fee, like $100 late fee. So I was like, okay, dang, man, I had to pay the $100 late fee, and I knew what the reason was, but I didn't feel like it was that much because it's only $100 more, and I'm making almost $1,000 a week at my job, so I didn't really feel like that bad because when you're working, you don't feel like when you're making the money back, you feel like okay, you ain't really losing anything. So that's what it felt like to me. So okay, I paid the late fee. So instead of $1,300, I paid $1,400 for the rent alone. But I had utilities and all that stuff too. So I think everything usually just came up to about the $1,500 to $1,600 a month. So it came to another month, and I kept on gambling again, and I ended up having to pay the late fee again. I ended up paying the late fee 3 months in a row. But then it got to the point where it got beyond that because not only could I not pay the rent. One night after I went up there and played, and I played a whole bunch of money on his tables, and I kept on going and going and going. I was going up. I was good. I swear I was good. I was almost to the point where I was about to go ahead, but then I just started going ham because I wanted more and more and more. And you know how that go. I started trickling down. Went down from $1,000, went down to about $600, went down to about $300, went down to about $200. I was like, dang, man, what am I gonna do? So I had the smart idea to go and get a payday loan to try to make up the difference in the bills, and I still didn't have enough to pay the bills. So not only did I have to pay a late fee, I had to pay like twice a month's rent the next month. So this was, I was like, dang, man, I got to try to do something. I felt like I had to try to do something, but it didn't work out for me. So that's just the trap that it'll have you in. I felt like I could do more. I thought I could pay the payday loan. I went in there, lost a whole bunch of money, and then I had to keep paying the late fee back to back. Didn't learn my lesson from that. when I kept having to pay an extra $100, I should have known. That should have clicked in my mind like, okay, something ain't going right. And then because I felt like just because I could pay it and just like slide by and get by and have a little bit of food in there, I felt like everything was okay. But when I got to the point when I felt like I had to pay that dang payday loan, and on top of that, when I got the payday loan, after I lost the money gambling, I didn't have enough money even with the payday loan to pay the rent alone, not even with the utilities and everything else. Just the rent alone, I didn't even have enough for that. So I had to try to negotiate with the people. Went there, I was like a month and a late fee behind in rent. So it just got to that point. I was like, dang, they came to the next one. I just couldn't extend it no further. So I would have had to pay a whole nother month of rent with the late fee as well. So that would have all came up to about $3,200 or something like that. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. So I was like, I really couldn't pay that. So I had actually, I didn't really get like evicted. I kind of just left. I said, I'm not able to pay the rent, so I just left. I said, you know what, since I can't pay, I'm just gonna have to leave, and whatever type of deal we have to strike up or whatever, I had to leave. So I ended up losing my apartment because of my gambling addiction. I kept going and playing and kept fiddling with the money that I had, even though I didn't have like a whole bunch saved up. But the money I made, I had the ability to be able to afford that to a certain degree. I was able to afford that. But when you have a gambling addiction, it don't really matter how much money you make, because you're going to find a way to spend more money. You making more money, you're going to find a way to bet more money. It's just the way your mind's frame works when you have a gambling addiction, when you're gambling. So that's how I lost my first apartment, guys. Like it was ridiculous. Now that I look back on it, I tried to come up with other excuses. I was like, you know what, maybe it was too high anyway. It was just a 2-bedroom. It wasn't that much. It was too much money to pay for an apartment anyway. I was just trying to come up with any other excuse just to make everything feel like it was all right. But it really was because I was gambling and I went up too high, and I ended up trying to get it back with money that's owed to them as well. So I tried to rob Peter to pay Paul, and then rob Peter, and didn't even have enough to pay Paul after I robbed Peter. So it was crazy. That was the whole crazy situation about that right there. So now that I look back on it, like I lost my first apartment, then I just had like my face like bad out here in the streets when it comes to like the places and all that. I'm pretty sure I could get another place, but it's just ridiculous that it was because of that. But I never really told nobody that it was because of my gambling addiction that I lost the place. I just told them like, I just wanted to move because I felt like it was better that I can come back and I can just make this money. And that was the story I told people. I didn't tell them that I lost it because I had a gambling addiction. I ain't tell them I lost my place because of that. Never told nobody that. But it just is what it is. It's just like me just being transparent. This is like totally the truth for real. Y'all already know how it is. But I honestly didn't really want to say anything about that. But it just, when I look back on it and all the excuses I was trying to make about it and trying to rationalize, okay, I could have made or saved some costs by just moving out of the apartment. No, it was because I had a gambling addiction. It was because I was gambling the money, and it was because I was, if it wasn't for the gambling addiction at all, I would have way much more money to allocate towards the bills, and then some. All these $400 right there, all that just put me right in the hole because there was nothing to show for it. Couldn't pay my rent, got the payday loan, couldn't even pay it back even after I got the payday loan, which was all my fault. Had to take full accountability. Had the highest levels of accountability when I came to that situation. So hopefully this can be a learning experience. I just don't want this to happen to nobody else, because I'm pretty sure you can feel like it's okay. You can feel like you got a control over it. And I know for a while it can be like that. But when you get to the point where you feel like, okay, I can't pay this bill, I can't pay. It can be a small bill. I can't pay my phone bill. But, oh, dang, I can't. You can pay everything else, but you can't pay the phone bill. Then next is going to trigger up to your light bill. Then it's going to trigger up to your rent. It's just, it can go there, man. It can go there, especially if you live in paycheck to paycheck and you go on month to month and you ain't got like months saved already. See, that was one of the things too. I was so ready to move on. I ain't have no months saved or nothing. But to be honest with you, I don't think I would have been able to trust myself even if I had months of money saved, because I probably would have ended up dipping into that to try to get back the money that I lost then. On top of keep paying the late fee, I would have probably had to pay the late fee at least the first few times, but the more I would have kept going, I felt like, my hunger for the big win was insatiable. So it was no really it was no big win for me that would have stopped everything. I would have kept going whether I was winning or losing. So that was just the problem that it had on me, and I'm so glad that I've been delivered from that. I was so glad that I stopped gambling and that I'm free from that monster right there. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it just wasn't a good feeling. I'm moving out, I'm moving the stuff out. I'm like, dang, I just got my spot. And I was only there for like about 4 or 5 months, and the people that I was told, like, I got my first place, man, I got my first place, I'm bragging, I did all this stuff here, and everybody wondering why I'm moving out, and I ain't really telling the real reason why I'm moving out. You know, I kind of, I ain't gonna lie, to keep it a buck, really, I kind of just like lied about why I moved out. I just said, hey, I just wanted to get another place, but it's embarrassing. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. It's embarrassing to say, oh, I gambled some money, so I couldn't pay my bill. What I like telling people that I gambled the money, I couldn't pay my bill, so I had to get moved out. I'd have been a laughing stock of everything. How, you know, people have been looking at me sideways as much as I bragged about it, much as I was like, oh man, I feel so proud of myself. Hey, everybody proud of me. And you think I want to go and tell everybody that I lost my place because I was gambling? And that's what happened, man. That's what happened. And now y'all know what happened, but I felt ashamed about it, but I'm glad that I learned about it, and I'm glad that I'm able to tell somebody about it before y'all go down the same path. It might not even be just your place. It might be your house, might be your savings. It could be whatever you might need to live. It might be your grocery money for that month. You never know. But I'm just saying, like, just don't let it creep in. You feel like, especially if you're getting away from it, and you feel like, oh, I could pay a little bit just because you got a little surplus right now. Right? Don't dip into it, because especially if you had the hunger and you had it bad, like I did. Man, I'm telling you, it's unforgiving. It's unforgiving. You'll lose what you thought you will never lose, and you feel like, oh, I'll never take it there. I'll never do nothing stupid. That's the same thing I said. Same thing I said. It went little by little, and then a substantial amount just took me down. Lost my place. But anyway, I don't want to keep y'all any longer. I done told y'all the story. I appreciate y'all for watching. Please click that like button, subscribe. Go in the comment section. We can talk about these things. Hopefully it has helped us out and resonated with you in any way, shape, or form. Please do that. I definitely don't mind talking to you guys in the comment section. And remember, guys, a gambler never wins until they quit. I'm out.